Let's love that. Thank you. Mike, where's that thing we had? Yeah, I got it. That's good. Thank you. Hey, what do you think? A little better? Look, for years they've been telling us to think outside the box. We got about an hour to think on top of the darn thing. We have to, because I'll tell you what, this world's changing. Remember this guy? Rip Van Winkle. That was America's first successful short story. Old Rip, as you probably remember from grade school, went for a hike in the Catskill Mountains. And he ran into the spirits of Henry Hudson and his crew, and they had some unusual booze with them. And he got to drinking it and he dozed off. Anybody remember how long? Yeah, it was 20 years. Some people say 100, but it's 20 years. Woke up the next morning, we can imagine, a little stiff. Started wandering back into town and had an experience that I'm having these days, you know, where every time I see a girl I used to know, it's her daughter. So he keeps seeing these people and it's their children. But then something strikes him. If you can see that picture, up in the corner, there's a poster in front of the tavern where he'd spent a fair amount of time. And he's totally confused because the picture of King George isn't there anymore. Now it's a picture of somebody called George Washington. The point of that story, which I sure didn't get when I was a kid, is that Rip Van Winkle slept through the American Revolution. Now imagine you dozed off, maybe just 4 or 5 years ago. Woke up this morning and looked at the financial news or the technological news or watched everybody walking in the street looking down. What do you think? What do you think? This world's changing, and it's going to keep changing. If in the last year you had the joy of coming into your family a child, a grandchild, a niece or a nephew, I'm expecting a lot of hands. Please raise your hand. Come on, let's see. Oh, that's a lot of folks. Congratulations. Serious scientists are starting to suspect that the life expectancy of those children born in the developed world in the last year. Now, you never know when Tom and compliance are listening, so I want to be clear what I just said. Tom, I said starting to suspect. I didn't say they're predicting it. I didn't say they're projecting it, and nobody's guaranteeing anything. But I did say serious scientists, not the supermarket tabloids. 140. 140-year life expectancy? And at 120, they just might be the way we are today at 60. Now, if that sounds completely implausible to you, understand 60 today is nothing like what 60 was just a few years ago. Life expectancy in the United States in the year 1900, the beginning of the 20th century. Anybody know the number? Well, the definitive answer is it depends on whose numbers you look at, but most of them settle around the number 47. By the end of the century, it's approaching 80. Anecdotally, my grandmother died in 1963. My grandmother was 63 when she died, and you know what the family said? She lived a good life. Today, somebody dies at 63, and are we not shocked they would die that young? Now, this is the millennium dream of humankind. Long life, fountain of youth. Be careful what you dream for. Anybody in this room, two things. At some point in your life, you had a dream of getting a recreational boat. And two, you actually got one. Please raise your hand and hold on a second. Okay. Now, did the dream include cleaning that thing? Some people actually like that. But how about writing checks to it? Was that part of the dream? So we get the dream of humankind, long life, fountain of youth. What's in trouble? Come on, there's one government program already in trouble. It's on the table right now. We lived that long, it's really in trouble. Say it, please. Social Security, right? Longest chain letter ever written, blows up. What else? What else? How about health care? And how about relationships? You are going to get married at 22 and stay with this person 118 years? Or worse, get married at 22, divorced at 41, and pay alimony for 99 years. And then some of us are in, and I'm sure you've heard about it, and some of your clients are in what's called the sandwich generation, sandwich between elderly parents and children. But here I am, 120 years old. My 140-year-old parents are living with me. Kids just moved back in. So we can have some fun with it, but let's not miss the serious point. If that change were to happen, enormously difficult issues wouldn't just be on the table, they'd be in our face. So as you work to discover your course from the past to the future, understand the world's going to change. There's a saying that I've loved for years. I was sitting in a room like this, and it just flashed up on the screen during a break. Old age for individuals and organizations starts. Old age starts the instant your attachment to the past exceeds your excitement about the future. Let me say that again. Old age starts the instant your attachment to the past exceeds your excitement about where we're going. Now, that doesn't mean you can't love old music. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have fond memories. That doesn't even mean you shouldn't honor the past. You should. But don't get so attached to it that it exceeds your excitement about where you're going, because then whether you're an organization or an individual, you are old. It's reversible. By the way, based on that definition, anybody here know anybody in their 80s or 90s that's young? Anybody here know anybody in their 20s that's old? We've got to move to the future. Grace Hopper was the Navy's computer expert. As I understand it, she's the second female to make it to rank of admiral in the United States Navy. She put it very simply when she said, the single most dangerous phrase in the English language is we've always done it that way. You know, the relevant question is never did it work, and that has it worked. The relevant question for you, for your clients, for us as individuals, for our country, is what's going to work tomorrow? And if what we're doing isn't working, we've got to start changing it today. That's building your future. But the question is, do you know what you should do? Do you know what you should do? Do you know what you should do? Now, the definitive answer to that question is, about what? Do I know what I should do? About what? So let's take something that used to be easy. You want to go to the movies tonight? Now, when I was a kid, that was a yes or no answer. How about you? How many theaters in range? One. How many movies? Well, sometimes they had a double billing, but there was only one. How many screens? One. You either wanted to go or you didn't. I live in Boulder, Colorado now, small city. Within 20 minutes of my house, there are 46 screens. The last time I looked, they were playing 17 different movies. That's not true. Last week it was all Harry Potter, but that's beside the point. But normally there's 15 to 17 different movies. I need an advisor to pick a movie. We need advice. You walk into an ice cream parlor, you're going to get 2 different scoops, 2 different flavors. 31 flavors are available, 7 cones or cups, and they have 18 toppings. Anybody got any idea how many choices that is? 7,812. I didn't calculate this, but Starbucks claims 87,000 possibilities. But let's go to Best Buy and get a new TV set up for the house, okay? You ready? We're going to get a flat screen, a bracket, a DVD player, a receiver, and a speaker set. On their website, those are the numbers. You multiply those out, and you've got 483 million choices. You need an advisor to pick a TV set. Now let's take something that really simple, investments. More than ever in our history, your clients need advice. And the people that ought to be your clients need advice. Advice is needed. But they don't just need any advice. They need great advice from great advisors.